David Elliott joins us here on Author's Corner. His book, Air, Earth, Fire, and Water, A Glimpse of the Created Earth. He's such a fascinating background as a college professor and in research and development, and so much of what he's learned and how he's put this book together. Dr. Elliott, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about why you wrote this book. What motivated you to write the book?
Well, I've been blessed in my life to have a full career as a scientist. I was in research and product development for about 20 years. I worked, I'll say, in the secular world, in industrial, commercial R&D enterprises, and so I love science. I'm a math and science person. And I've been blessed to be an inventor and to do research, which I understand everybody doesn't do and doesn't want to do, but I've been blessed to do it. And I've also had a second career as a teacher. I've been an instructor at a 4-year liberal arts college for about 20 years. So I've had two roughly 20-year careers, and through both of those, through that whole period, I have been a avid studier of the Bible, of Scripture, and so I wrote the book because I've noticed over that time that the truths found in the natural realm, in science, if you will, and the truths found in Scripture seem to converge, and I don't find any great, disagreement. You can believe both, and you can learn about both, and thus the book is an effort to sort of meld those two together.
Yeah, and a lot of people won't touch that, which I think is so wonderful that you've done that. Talk about a couple of things, talk about water. One of the things I took away from a great off-air conversation that you and I had is the driving force of all of existence. It really is water, isn't it?
It is, and that's what Leonardo da Vinci called it, the driving force of existence. The water is the most abundant chemical on Earth. And I was privileged to do research on water-based chemicals for many years. Water is in every realm in biology. Life is essential for life, for all biological processes, both in plants and animals. Water is also the driving force. I think that's what Da Vinci was talking about, that most landforms, mountains, rivers, valleys, etc., are formed by water in its physical properties and chemical properties. So water is a fundamental component of living things, and Earth is uniquely positioned for life, for living things. I don't know that we have another planet we've discovered that has liquid water as much as Earth. 70% of our surface is covered with water, which that is very rare in planetary exploration.
And talk about planetary exploration, and you do. It's chapter 6 in the book. You talk about the solar system. What can people expect when they read your book and they crack into that chapter, the solar system?
Well, I tried to begin, I'll say big, with the heavens, starting with air, it began with the solar system. There's a whole universe beyond it, but I started at the solar system because I wanted to focus on Earth. We are dependent. Earth is dependent on the activity of the other planets and the sun, obviously. And the solar system is a perfect a microcosm of sort of how God seems to work. And that is a collection of moving parts all working together as a whole. And we're dependent very much on other planets, their gravitational forces and their orbits, and we're dependent on the sun, and so the solar system is a picture of a lot of multiple parts working together, and it is so carefully ordered that we can do calculations mathematically and anticipate the motion of the planets, the orbits, the moon, etc. As I tell my class, what's amazing to me is that the outer two planets, Neptune and Pluto, I guess if you consider Pluto a planet, were discovered by mathematical calculation and not by telescope first. They because of the extreme careful order of the planets, we can mathematically predict that they're there, and that's pretty amazing to me.
What was the biggest challenge for you in writing Air, Earth, Fire, and Water, a glimpse of the created Earth?
Well, the biggest challenge was I could not find another book to model it after, because most books deal with environmental science, which is a study of the living parts of Earth and the things surrounding, which is a really interesting field, or biology, or they deal with geology, or the earth forms such as mountains, rocks, and that sort of thing. I could not find a book that covered both the biological and the physical aspects of Earth. And so finding, I guess, unifying themes for, to write a book without making it, two different books, one about life, one about non-life. That was, I guess, the biggest challenge. The book, by the way, is written for non-science people. I mean, it is, I developed the course I teach. It's for our non-science majors. And so it's designed to be accessible and readable, even if you don't like science and math. And I understand there are a lot of people who don't. And so it is designed, to show some unifying themes in all of the different spheres of Earth's existence, the biosphere, the atmosphere, the geosphere, the hydrosphere. And I guess I'm pleased to announce there are some unifying themes, and that's what we had to put together, in writing this book.
And you can get this book for a song. You can get a Kindle version or a paperback or hardcover. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever great books are sold. And just look up David Elliott, Air, Earth, Fire, and Water, a glimpse of the created Earth. What do you hope people walk away with when they read your book? They hear our conversation, they get the book. What do you hope their takeaway is?
Well, I wanted a book of science that covered the different, I'll say, the scientific aspects of the natural realm. And I also wanted to, I'm an avid studier of the Bible and a person of faith. As I've studied the natural realm, I discovered there are, I guess, universal truths. And, to my delight, I've discovered in studying the Bible that there are also universal truths, and actually they converge as the more you study them. And so what I'd hope people would be inspired to do is to learn, to seek knowledge both of spiritual things and of physical or natural things, because the natural realm displays divine wisdom in many ways, and we are able to see the character of God in the realm that He created, that the things He has made. which are there for us to see, which we can, obtain with our senses. And that's what I would hope people would walk away with, seeing that there is really one truth, and that nature helps us understand that truth.
Perfect place to end this. David Elliott, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.